You all want more affordable cars? Here is one of them made by GMC. I'll include a link to the Jerry Center GMC in South Jordan's website in the description down below. Also include a link to my car buying guide. Let's get into it. Under the hood, we have a turbo 1.5 liter 4-cylinder that goes through an 8-speed. Fuel economy is 24 around town, 28 on the highway, with power outputs being 175 horsepower and then 203 pound-feet of torque. I'm trying to hit 500,000 subscribers before the end of the year. I'd really appreciate it if you'd help out with that. Now for a small crossover, it's got a very muscular looking hood. GMC loves making C-shaped headlights, as you can see. And then everything's been blacked out than the GMC logo on the front end. And that's kind of the theme of the Elevation, is blacking out a lot of elements. Tire and wheel setup is 235 by 55 by 19. Again, wheels also blacked out. Unpainted fender flares, but makes it look a little bit more rugged, I suppose. Even terrain is blacked out there on the side. Same thing with the mirror caps and the door handles. No keyless entry too. And then here's your full side profile with the terrain. You can see that it's pretty boxy. When it comes to the key fob, we've got the GMC logo there on the back. We have our lock and unlock function remote start here in the front. Let's now pop inside, manual hatch. We've got lighting inside, and this has pretty good cargo space for being a smaller crossover. And again, manual, so you got to put in a little bit of work. Another GMC logo there on the back, of course. Pretty interesting taillight design here with how it swoops across, and then again, all the badges here on the back are blacked out. Let me know what you guys think about the exterior. I think it looks cool with the blacked out elements and then the boxiness again for a economy crossover. Let's now pop inside. Nice trim here on the door panel with the stitching and the soft touch too. We've got cloth seats here. They have that insert to kind of create a little bit of contrast. And again, the space in here is quite impressive. Also have a little storage pocket, some USB ports, and some vents in the back. And then headroom back here is also good. Keyless entry up front. We've got more nice trim and soft touch here on the front door panel, and then down below you guys can see with the stitching. Blind spot monitoring with the mirrors, and then the front window is automatic. Now cloth seats up front, and they are manually adjustable. Off to the side here, we've got our parking brake, drive mode, select your all-wheel drive, auto hold, auto stop start too. And start it up. Nice soft touch trim all around the steering wheel, GMC logo front and center. Practical controls here on the steering wheel, like your voice command, heated steering wheel function, that is to change what the center screen displays. Cruise control on the other side. Radio controls and paddles on the back of the steering wheel. And this now utilizes a column shifter. Full digital gauge cluster, and like I said, you press the button and it changes what the cluster actually displays. Now, because it's all blacked out, there is a bit of glare during certain times of the day. Backup camera in reverse, good resolution with the camera. Now, the infotainment system itself is actually pretty large with the screen view. A lot of functions are controlled in the screen, but the screen itself is quick to respond. But yeah, you notice stuff like the light controls, the heated seats, and even the climate controls are built into the bottom section of the screen, but you do have some toggle switches for the climate too. Yes, we'll call this little charging area. We've got some cup holders here. This is some storage in front of the center console. Pretty big center console itself, and there is some soft touch and stitching on top. There's more soft touch and stitching on the dash too. And this leads us to the window sticker, 2026 Terrain Elevation. Total MSRP $34,885. Let's see how this terrain performs. Well, let us set off in the terrain. Manual seats. It's the price you pay. Now, I will say, on rugged terrain, the terrain actually does better than you might expect. Now, it is a unibody crossover with independent suspension, so not a lot of articulations. You get quite a bit of movement in the body and everything, and in the suspension, but you know, still can do it. And by the way, I went through that whole dirt lot in 2-wheel drive, just saying. It's massively capable, massively. Whoa, let's talk about a unibody with articulation. So the one tire was not as in contact with the ground, so you hear a little bit of spinning because it couldn't get traction. It's kind of funny. Now, this is not a car that is particularly exciting, and I think that's a good thing. The GMC Terrain is your kind of A to B type crossover, and it does a pretty good job at that. And I will say the powertrain performs like a small displacement turbo 4-cylinder. It's got a bit of turbo lag, and so you got to wring it out a little bit. But most of the vehicles in the segment have either CVTs or naturally aspirated 4-cylinders, so they don't really feel any better. This actually feels pretty peppy for the segment. It's got pretty good power overall. But the thing that does kind of intrigue me is, like, why go for a turbo 4-cylinder? Small displacement in the segment, because it's like you look at like a RAV4 with its 2.5 4-cylinder naturally aspirated, and it's producing similar power outputs, actually more power, and at least horsepower, and it gets similar fuel economy. So it always makes me wonder, it's like, why go for such a small powertrain? But yeah, the torque is good. Again, this is not gonna beat any speed records anytime soon, but it does move. It can get out of its own way. And this is a nice small size, so it's handling's good, it's easy to maneuver. And the 8-speed's smooth too. I mean, that's the way, you gotta get this with the 8-speed. Because again, you still get the benefits, because this has that driveline select where you can put it in all-wheel drive or two-wheel drive, you still get the fuel economy benefits of having the two-wheel drive. But then you also get the benefits of having all-wheel drive and the 8-speed. CVT is just not worth it. Not worth it. Yeah, honestly, this is nice. It does well. See how the suspension is over this little speed bump. Up. Honestly, not bad. So, in summary, I think if you're looking for something that is comfortable, affordable, daily drivable, this kind of ticks all of the boxes. The only downside, I think, for some people is going to be the manual seats. I think that that'll be a holdup for some people. And then, other than the manual seats, I could see another holdup being no 360 camera. Seems like a lot of people want 360 cameras nowadays, but it's got no sunroof. I mean, I didn't really go over that in review, but if it has no sunroof, there's nothing to really mention in there. I'm just trying to think of what people in this segment care about. I think the manual seat's gonna be the biggest holdup for a lot of people. But it's one of those things where, like, unless you're switching drivers all the time, it's not really annoying. Like, you adjust the seat once to what you're gonna use, and then you just leave it there, and you don't worry about it. So, kind of my 2 cents on that. I really don't see it as too big of a deal personally. So let me guys think about the GMC Terrain with the Elevation package, but I do think that this is a nice, more affordable crossover. I'm trying to get out of this person's way so they can drive by. I think this is a nice, more affordable crossover that drives well, and it has most of what you want and not a lot of what you don't want. I mean, it's got heated seats, which is nice, so that's all.